I don't want to do this. So you know how sometimes you just are feeling bleh, right? Like you just don't want to. And you're not necessarily anxious and you're not necessarily overwhelmed or burnt out, but you're not feeling it. And everything tells us, all the internet gurus and the productivity princesses and all of these things, go get some fresh air, move your body, clean your space, take a shower and drink some water, all of this stuff. And you're like, whatever. But then you do those things and you actually do feel better. Yeah, that's irritating as shit. But I did those things and now I feel better. And now I feel ready to show up in the way that I want to talk about my November reset. And this reset is not just like my typical monthly reset where I deep clean things and I, set my goals and all these things. And I've done that clearly. But this is more of a regulation reset. This is about finding joy everywhere and anywhere I can for the month of November. And we're going to talk about the things I'm going to do and the things I've already done. And I just, for anyone watching who feels that these things are, silly or weird or unnecessary, yeah, probably. And I'm coming into this from a place of privilege and I acknowledge that. However, we all lead very different lives. And this is what I'm doing for me. And this is not necessarily what I would suggest that you do for you. This may not be what you need. This may not be what you want. This is what I am doing. And, I've spent a lot of time over the last couple weeks thinking about what I want. Because, a few weeks ago, I was super, super stuck and I didn't know how to move forward. And some of that fog has lifted, and I've talked about that in a couple videos, but they may have been Rebel rambles, and not everybody watches those. But a lot of the fog has lifted, and I'm feeling better than I was in October. And, some of that comes from I got a book idea. And I did talk about this in a Rebel ramble, and I don't know why I didn't tell you the genre of the book. It's not like it's a secret. I have an idea for a mystery, kind of like a psychological thriller. And there's no romance. And I had a couple people suggest, well, could you make it romance? Not really. Not the way the idea is forming in my head. It doesn't work as a romance. So it's probably not going to be a Dakota Rebel book, but we'll see. But it's the first idea I've had that I've been excited about since Broken Chords. And that came out July, August. So it's been a few months since I've even had a spark of an idea that lit my soul on fire. And this one is. So this is what we're working on. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write this book and I'm going to figure out, the logistics of it later. I'm going to find my joy in writing. I'm going to fall in love with the process again. Because I think that if I just write the book that is on my heart, whatever has happened to my muse, to my writing, to my whatever, I think it will come back to me. But I have to follow the spark. And the spark is leading me into a genre that I don't really write. And that's fine. I'm grateful for the spark and I'm just going to let it spark. I don't know, whatever. So that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm going to work on this book. I'm going to write this book and I'm not going to worry about what comes next because that will come. There's no point worrying about it before I've even written the book. So that is step number 1. I'm going to work on this book. Step number 2 for November is I bought a new Stalogy. I am resetting my bullet journal. I am starting fresh. I have I have a ton of pages left in my bullet journal, and I don't care. This was an $11 purchase, and it's not about the money, but you know, I this whole thing kicked off on YouTube because of my no buy, and I wasn't buying planner stuff, and I have throughout the year, and we're gonna do a full year update on the no buy, but I bought a new bullet journal. I bought a half year, so it's much smaller, and it was cheaper. But I have set up, well, I'll just show you. So I think that what has happened with my bullet journal is I always do the thing where I set up all the front pages, right? I do trackers and I do all these things, and I never go back and use them, and they just take up space both in my brain with the guilt of not using all these things that I built and set up, thinking that they were going to make my life better, but also they take up space in my book. And I don't use them, and it drives me crazy. So we are going super simple. And, I'm just using, I had to put a future log in there because that is the one thing I put in every bullet journal that I actually come back to regularly. Because I need some place to track renewing subscriptions and things that are far off in the future that I don't want to forget, but I also don't want to carry them around in my head. Got to have a future log. And then, as you could see, I moved right into November. No filler pages, no extra stuff, no worry about things that I need to remember to go back to because there's nothing there. And I'm going to listen. We all know that I am a Sarah Cannon stan. Okay, huge fan of heart breathings. I've taken the HB90 course. It literally changed the way that I plan, and it's fantastic. I have bought many iterations of her planner. I am terrible with printing double-sided and I'm not happy with any kind of binding. So even though I've spent quite a bit of money buying her planners from Etsy over the years, and I don't feel bad about that. I will support her in any way that I can, including shouting her out on this channel as often as possible. But the system itself, I think, would work for me. I just can't use her pre-printed planners. I just need to draw it out in a bullet journal. So the plan for the new bullet journal is to do a monthly, and then I will do my weekly spread, and then I will start doing daily pages. Because I keep setting up my weekly plan, and then I white it out, and I don't want to write on it. So I think I'm just going to follow how she does it, where you set up your ideal week, and if things have to move and juggle and shift and be taken off, I can do that in the daily pages. And I think I'm going to try that for a while. If you didn't see my last video from Monday about planning for the era you're in, check it out because I think it was pretty good. And I'm in a transition era. I need to try things. I need to let myself play and explore and figure it out. So I got a fresh bullet journal in the hopes that taking all that erroneous stuff out and just using it for what I need it for is the silver bullet I've been missing. But we'll have to see. And so that's what I'm doing with that. Another thing that I am doing to spark joy in November is I have started decorating for Christmas. And listen, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Yule or you don't celebrate anything at all, I love you. And we celebrate Christmas in this house. We celebrate commercial Santa Claus Christmas in this house, not necessarily religious Christmas in this house. So if you don't want to hear, as we're moving into Vlogmas next month, it's not going to be hit you over the head with Christmas stuff necessarily, but there will be Christmas stuff because we celebrate Christmas in this house. Decorating for Christmas brings me a lot of joy. And I have already warned my husband that at some point in the next week or two, he's going to come home and I will have the tree up because I am going to find joy everywhere and anywhere that I can. I am already building my Christmas playlist and I put my lights up. There's some more things I want to get, but for right now, the lights actually are making me very happy. I like it. So just, little things like that. I switched out my washi tape from Halloween to Christmas. So decorating far earlier than I usually do is another thing I plan to do in November, and I am great with that. I am very happy with it. And what else? So I put my goals on my wallpaper on my computer. so that they are in my face all the time and I remember what I am doing and working towards. I got a haircut, and I only get my haircut like once a year. So every time I go, I'm just like, give me 5 inches straight across. I don't do layers. I can't do bangs anymore. Just 5 inches straight across once a year. And I went and got that done and it feels so much better. And I'm still waffling on whether or not I want to dye it. So I've been going gray since I was like in grade school. I've always had like gray at the roots and the temples. Just up front, it doesn't go gray like anywhere else. Just right in here, it's always gone. It's since I was very little, so I always dyed it, and I want to go gray. I want it to grow out and just be gray. I'm fine with that. It's not like I dye my hair to cover the gray. I dye my hair to cover whatever color this is. This weird red brown color that it turns into. So, because I'm not a fan of this, so it makes me want to dye it, but it's never going to grow out if I don't stop dyeing it. So, I'm going to mull that over in November, figure out what I want to do with the color of my hair. So those are the reset things that I'm thinking. I'm in a new planner. I'm taking care of myself better than I have been. And I'm just looking for little ways to find happiness this month, because you cannot create from a place of anxiety. It is very difficult to create and to let your creative side of your brain flourish when the type A side of your brain is constantly worried about everything else. So I'm trying to take some of those worries away and just focus on the things that make me happy. I rearranged my office. I hooked up a TV and a DVD player in here so that I can watch old shows and old movies and things while I'm working. I'm going to spend at least an hour a day crocheting because I owe our baby cousin a baby blanket that was supposed to be for the baby shower, I think in May, and is still not done. So I'm going to carve out an hour for that, for just, mindless, move my hands and watch something on TV. Another thing that I am doing in November, and this is really where the privilege part comes in. We are doing no news November. I will not be watching the news. I will not be reading the news. I took social media completely off my phone. I will only be going on Facebook once a week to promote a backlist book in the groups. I will not be scrolling. I will not be spending time there. I took all of it off my phone, and it already feels better. It already feels better having those apps just off my phone. I cannot spend my days in the day-to-day of the world going to hell in a handbasket. If something big happens, I will know. You can't escape the big news. And if there are things that I need to know, there are people in my life who will let me know. I have a community that will let me know if there are massive things going on that I need to know. But the everyday, day-to-day shock and awe of headlines where you get 19 different headlines for the same news story because they want your clicks and they want your eyeball. I can't give them my eyeballs anymore. I can't do it. I cannot affect the things that are upsetting me, and letting them upset me affects me too much. So no news November, and I feel really good about that. And it's going to be weird because I like to know things. But I think that there are things that I don't need to know. I don't need to know everything, especially when there is literally nothing I can do from my four walls to fix what's breaking. So letting myself stress out about it isn't serving anyone. So we are doing no news November. And I have to get back to a place where I'm focusing on me, because I cannot serve my family. I cannot serve my community from a place of anxiety, from a place of stress and burnout and overwhelm. I need to be in a place where I am comfortable so that I can help others feel comfortable. If I am an anxious wreck all the time, that affects everyone around me. And I don't know, it's almost selfish to invite anxiety in with open arms because my kids don't need that from me. My husband doesn't need that from me. And you don't need that from me. So, yeah, no news November. And it feels good. So we are resetting. We are moving up and moving on. And it's going to be fantastic. I feel really good about where I'm going. I'm not quite there yet, but I will get there. And, sometimes we just need a hard reboot. And that's what I'm doing in November. It's more of a reboot even than a reset. I am going to find my joy in writing again. I'm going to find my joy in my planner again. And I am going to find my joy in my home again. And we're going to do that by shutting other things out. We're going to do our best to not worry about later. November is about day to day. November is about joy in the small things. It is about not worrying what other people think when I am blasting 7 different versions of Carol of the Bells in a row while I write a psychological thriller with the dog at my feet. I am resetting my mindset in November, and I'm going to come into December from a much healthier place mentally and hopefully physically so that I can start 2026 as the version of myself I want to carry forward. And I can't imagine that I will be perfect. I am perfect at nothing. No one is. But I am setting myself up for success in a way that I've never tried before. And so I guess we'll see how that goes. We'll see if I can show up every day as the best version of me by only letting the good stuff in. So that's where we are. That's my November reset. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me for a little bit. I hope that you were mildly entertained by my reset rambles. And yeah, I can't wait to show you, how it goes in the new planner. I can't wait to share all the cool things that I've got coming up for you both this month and with Vlogmas. I think I have finalized everything that we're going to do, and I've got some really good stuff to talk about, and I'm really, really excited. And I'm very excited for how the community is growing, and that the right people are finding us. It's incredible. When the year started, I had 250 subscribers. And now we are sitting at 5,500 subscribers, and that is not anything I ever thought I could do. And the fact that all of you are my people is, it's just magic. It's magic. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I really, really am. So yeah, we've got some really great stuff coming up, and I can't wait to share it all with you. So I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week, and I hope that November is kind to you. And if it's not, I hope that at least you are kind to yourself. Please don't forget to smash all those YouTube buttons for me, and I will see you on Saturday in my Rebel Ramble. I will see you Saturday in my Rebel Ramble. I love you so much. Bye.